Okay, now time to get off your butt and get to the real bike. The cream puff.
What did you find on this thing today?
So first thing, what do you think of it? Looks-wise, tail.
It's cool. Not as bad as I thought it was gonna look.
It has to be high up in the back because the suspension goes up.
Yeah.
And right now it's in the air right now because you got all that solo seat crap in there. So it's not letting it sit down quite where it's supposed to be. It's going to drop about a ½ inch from where it is now. And you can always slot the holes and play with it a little bit. It's fiberglass.
All gonna line up.
So carbs on there, fuel lines on there. The vent for the tank is right here, this hole up in here. So when you put fuel in it blows air out and you get a little splatter. I had a fuel leak on the petcock, but it's not leaking. I just did the electrical here. So switches in the middle is off. Ignition is this way. Lights is this way, which means ignition works either way. But there's no lights, obviously.
No lights to worry about.
So there's a wire here. There's a terminal here for electrical, for light. So I did all that. I've worked on bleeding the brakes. It was dry and full of crap.
Yeah.
I got it to where it kind of leaked. It leaks out. It was leaking over here. I tightened that. That looks like it quit leaking. This is plastic. It needs to be a brake switch in here. And I got it where it's just starting to make the brake work in the back. And it went pop. And it just started pouring fluid. What do you see in there? Pistons all the way out and
no brake pads.
No pads.
No pads at all.
And this is, you can see how this has been run with metal on metal.
Right. Looks like somebody tried to stop just metal on metal.
So they took the pads out and
Why would you do that?
Put it back together.
I actually wrote it like that.
I don't know.
Not far.
No, they don't drag right here, but anyway,
What do you think makes that brake?
I think that's a Nest. I think it's a Nest caliper.
USA.
There's some names in there. Doesn't that say PM right there?
Yeah, it's a PM brake.
So it needs PM pads, and I got them at home probably, but it's just, you need pads. And you need to put the brake switch in here, and that just pours fluid out of it. So you were talking about getting different controls. You need them. Everything about these things is worn out. Junk. I filed this, I wouldn't cut myself. This is the good side over here.
This is the good side.
Now you go on this side over here. Remember the problem we had on that bike a year ago? What was the problem with that thing?
Everything.
No, remember this problem here?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It has the same problem. It has to come apart. This here, it's got a little extra free play in it.
Just a touch.
So that's this
3
lever.
inches goes up and down 3 inches and doesn't do anything.
Well, you got this, and this. So this here is worn out. So this is gone. This stuff is a joke. There's these little short screws and it's all holes this in. It's just a joke. And of course they were loose. But I tightened this up as much as I could. I stripped the stainless steel crap that they put this thing together with. The screw is so bad that the threads on the screw were stripping and not the aluminum.
I guess that's a good thing.
So I went and grabbed the bolt, stuck it in there, tightened it down as much as I can, and it tightened up a little bit, but it's still really bad. Garbage. So this all needs to go bye-bye. The oil in here is like everything else in the bike, filthy garbage. It might have an M8 tension or an M6, whatever that thing is, spring load tension here. It might have one of those in it. It's got red plates in it, so it might have some altos in here.
I bought this before M8s were invented.
Not M8 bike, but the chain tensioner is M8 or M6, the name of it.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Whatever the hell the name of that stupid thing. I don't like that one, but that might be what's in there. I didn't pull this off to look at it. I'm just looking it through here. The oil is right up where it belongs. It's full. The ignition obviously worked. It ran. Your junk battery works just fine, starting this thing.
Yeah.
The tank's a 5-gallon tank. Brand new tank. Those are brand new.
Really?
There's not a lick of... It's clean inside. There's not nothing in there.
Okay.
Basically, you didn't have any surface rust in there. It's got welding material in there. That's about it.
Interesting.
So these are brand new tanks. I didn't do anything in front end because the brake worked kind of up there. I don't like those. I would put a set of 4.5 pullbacks on this thing and drop this bar right on down, or do something else. You don't know what you're doing, so I didn't want to spend a lot of time and effort on that. I ran the thing for quite a bit in second gear.
You fired it up?
Yeah, it runs. Ran it quite a bit in second gear to make fluids and stuff go through. There's no leaks on anything. The drain plug on the bottom is only a couple of drips. It's rounded out in there. It might be a Torx head instead of an Allen, maybe. I don't know. I don't think they were using Torxes back then, but it's rounded out, whatever it is. It's there. So I got all that done. So all this stuff's trash. Those are Harley controls up there, so that's the only decent thing about it, I guess.
There's some of the controls there.
The rear wheel looks pretty good. It's a 40 spoke back, I counted it. No, I don't care about the front. It's got the H4 crane ignition in it, coil. The push rods are either V Thunder or something like that, or Ultima push rods, or they're really, really old S&S ones, because they're the real thick ones.
Adjustable?
Yeah, but they're real thick. I think they're probably V Thunder or something like that. It's adjustable. The flywheels are not Harley. They got some numbered names on them underneath there, so it's not Harley. So it's some kind of a part number.
Can't tell what it is.
So it's got an aftermarket crank in it. So I think the only thing that's Harley in here is the cylinders. I did a bore scope on those. The front cylinder's got some fairly heavy scarring in there, like trying to seizure type marks, real heavy pressure with some aluminum in them.
Really?
And the oil, the slime that was in the tank, because there was no oil, it had really black, gooey shit in there.
Really?
A lot of aluminum. So I put half a quart of my 2050 that I brought in there. I didn't want to put the 70 in it, so it's pretty black. Well, it only came up about maybe this far, the oil level, so this thing's drained. There's nothing in it. Didn't have any oil in it. But anyway, it's all in there. I used my intake manifold because yours had the small port in it.
Yeah.
And this is the big port heads.
Yeah.
So I put my manifold on there and it lines up good. I did break the flange for you though. You have no hardware in this building. So if you notice over here now, see over here? There you come over here. We have trash. We have small screws, nuts and washers, 1/4 inch, and big bolts. And everything I dug out was all we had to use. This is the other gas tank hardware here, and the ignition cover and point plate here. That's your intake. So I didn't use any of this crap, obviously. This doesn't fit that carburetor.
No.
So the vacuum port on this one, I put the the hose on there and a screw in it. The dingleberry is sticking up right here. That's for the Bose switch.
Oh yeah, so it's plugged off, right?
Yeah. I didn't have any clamps, so I just used this fuel line. This stuff's on there really, really tight, so it's not going anywhere. So the oil, we have a little bit of oil in here, but not much. I would recommend dumping the oil out, changing it, and then put fresh oil in it. At least 1 quart. It's only got half a quart oil in it, basically. The there's no leaks on anything except the brakes.
That's wild.
So
Can't believe it runs.
So
How loud was this?
So I got this thing right here, and I was the intake valve was squeaking and sticking really bad, knocking.
Really?
The valve guide was sticking badly. So I took this cover off. I went in there and CRC'd it, moved up and down a bunch of times. You had about this much free play in the push rod because the push rods are bone dry, the hydraulics. So I went ahead and readjusted the valves. These I want to turn more tighter. These ones are only probably about a half a turn tighter. They're 18 flats from the bottom.
Right.
So I put all those in there. So if there's no noise in this motor, it runs nice and quiet. The motor's, everything about the powertrain is good. Everything about everything else is trash. So anyway, I like this pretty nice. If you want to keep it around, you can, or we're going to sell it to somebody who wants it. You can bring that fender over here. Over fender. Grab that. I'd have to cut the frame to put it on there, so that's why I didn't do it. Have to cut these off too.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut those off.
Well, I figured you would, but you said you had a solo seat, so I didn't sure if you wanted it or not. just lay it in there. Put the seat on top of that, it's fine. My spacer. All right, so the battery's your junk battery. I charge it.
Right.
It was already basically charged. I have to redo the cables, which is a pain in the ass because these are reversed from what they should be this battery. Which it shouldn't be, but the cables were, so I did that. This is our starter button.
Okay.
I rewired it for you. Like I said, this works on any position. I went ahead and put that on the last thing I did. I didn't start it with that originally. The alternator I think is hooked up down in here, and this is connected to the battery. So that should be, the alternator should work, I'm thinking. Not sure. This puke hose is wanting to poke holes in me every time I touch it, which I don't like. Here's the rest of your wiring harness over here. Here's your harness here. I eliminated the circuit breaker, so now there's no protection between the ignition switch and anything else on the bike. And it does arc pretty nicely when that hot wire touches the frame and stuff. That's the way I like it, nice and hot. No, we don't have any safety shit. No, I don't need none of that crap. See how they got some bikes, there's 5-wire and 3-wire wiring systems?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got 2.
It's a 2-wire system.
Hot up, ignition. And then we got starter. Is that 3?
That's hilarious.
That's about all we got hooked up. So basically it all works pretty good. It started up instantly as soon as I touched it.
No kidding.
Yep. I pre-oiled it quite a bit by turning the motor over. I actually got oil pressure returned back to the tank just by spinning the wheel over.
No shit.
Back wheel, just spinning it through with the Tatro horsepower. This rocker box is way off center. I didn't put it in there correctly. So you can loosen up and shove it over, probably tighten down, probably won't leak. This one, I took the lids off here and it didn't leak. It's not leaking. This front gasket's blown out. It's just barely got a little sliver sealing it, so it probably will leak at some point. But right now it's not. You'll watch the video back, you can see all that stuff. So the exhaust blows right over here on top of all this wiring and shit, doesn't hurt it. So I'm gonna go ahead and.
How loud was this fucker?
Nice and quiet. You pull that wire over there a little bit. Here we go. I'll pull this wire over here away from the exhaust pipe. So the exhaust here pre-warms the oil tank for you, right here. So it warms the oil up. And this one over here blows the dirt off of the vent sticker over here.
Nice.
But it doesn't melt it.
Okay.
So it works pretty good. So basically, turn the petcock on over there and light it off. Oh, you got the fuel level? Do you see the fuel gauge? See the fuel gauge?
Oh yeah.
Got that much. So you're on the main tank right now. This is reserve.
All right.
I didn't go with a straight down because I didn't want the line going through all this mess.
Right.
So that kicks it back over there. Especially this big fat tank. So, and this is the more common petcock. When the petcocks are usually up here on the late bikes. Earlier bikes are back here, like the FXR, they're back here. So chopper bikes, they're way in here and they go straight down. But anyway, it works good. So you see how it flooded fuel into there. We'll put on this main tank. So anyway, it all lights up pretty good.